We're going to take a look at another concept I like to call drag delayed circle concept. Now, this play is called, it's not actually named, the play is called Gambler, and it's how the gun trips open. Now, this one has several different options you can throw to, even if you don't want to throw to the halfback who's running that delayed circle route. I'm going to go ahead and show it to you how I run it and kind of give you an idea of something you can do with this and different ways of running it. Let's go ahead and take a look at the field. We're just going to run this against this 3-4 normal cover 3. Now, over here on the left side, we've got 3 receivers lined up, and what we're going to wind up doing here is hot route and read on a streak, and then Evans on a streak. Now that gives us basically two guys running streaks and another receiver running a wheel route more or less, which is Parrish. Now the idea of here is mainly is to try to get Parrish open on that wheel route. Now something else I want you to look at here is occasionally, and this can happen actually more than occasionally, a lot of times you look at these slot receivers running streak routes, you may be able to throw the ball to them with a high bullet pass into this area here, just after they clear the linebackers. I've seen a lot of guys do that online. I've done it online. That's something you can do with that. Now, the other thing I want to show here is Hardy running that post corner route. For those of you guys who can rocket catch and like to run the post corner rocket catch, this is a nice thing you can do with that, and we'll point that out here in just a bit. But let's go ahead and run him on an in route and extend it. So what we're going to do is hot route him on an in and extend it, and you'll see why here in just a second. Okay, now let's go back over here first and look at these routes over here again. The receiver you really want to look for is Parrish, but there's a chance that Evans could be wide open for a quick streak, so I want to point that out to you. So that's what I'm going to look to throw to first. Now, this is not always going to be the case. It winds up getting picked off there, but he may be wide open for a quick streak. If you get the timing down on it, let's go and try that one more time just so you can see it. And again, that's just another route that you can look at to throw to. Let's go ahead and go through all the routes again just so you can get an idea what I'm trying to show. Okay, there's what I was talking about earlier about that. If you get the timing down on that, you might be able to throw that route in there and get that consistently. Make sure you throw it up high when you make that throw. All right, so I showed that one. Now let's go back here again and take a look at these 3 routes over here. Same thing we did before earlier. And again, we're going to hot route Hardy on that in route. Now, the idea behind here is to look for Parrish again. And the idea here against cover 3 is to try to draw that defender out there who's playing cover 3 coverage. For you to look at it, it's really hard to see everything, but he's playing that cover 3 coverage. The idea is to draw him inside towards Evans, or possibly at least get him to come after Reed. So that's what we're going to do here. Now, something else you might try to do here is hot route Reed even on a curl route, an in route, and extend it on an in route. This is something else you can do with this particular concept. So let's go and look at this. Again, the idea is to try to draw that corner to the inside a little bit. And it should leave Parrish wide open for a catch right like that. That's something else you could do when you run that. So if you want to do the square in, the double square in route, so basically you're mirroring on both sides, that's something else you could do. So let's go and do that again. We'll go ahead and mirror those 2 routes on the outside on square routes. That's what we got going on here. And then we got Evans running that streak. So again, look for Evans first. You might be able to find him open first, and then work your way to this guy running that, have him running that wheel route out here on the outside. Look for him next. If neither of those 2 guys are open, then what you want to do is you want to come back to the main of this passing concept, is this halfback running this delayed route, which is a circle route. Now, sometimes he may stay in a pass block, so watch out for that too. But watch what happens here when we run this. We'll go ahead and look for Lynch this time. And see how open he gets? And that's all because of that in route. Those 2 in routes that I showed earlier, it's all because of those in routes. Those force those linebackers to drop back, allowing that in route, or excuse me, around that circle route to get wide open once that halfback comes over the middle. So, for instance, he's running this, and he comes this way, and then he breaks over this way. Well, then you got this outside receiver running that square in, and so any of these linebackers that would play in hook zones, they have to drop back into this area here. And again, it allows that circle route to get wide open. And that's kind of what you'll see here in just a second as I run this play. Again, keep an eye on them. Now, they're going to come up for a split second. See how they come up? If you watch real close, they'll come up for just a second, and then they'll drop back because of that square in route. And by the time he does, then that circle route's wide open. So this is another passing concept you could use to try to go ahead and get your receiver open, you know, as far as underneath, when you're running some of these underneath routes. And again, if you look real far deep there, look how open that receiver is running that wheel route out there. Again, look how far that cornerback came inside to cover that streak route. So keep that in mind when you mess around with these concepts. This is something you can use. And I'm trying to give you as many different things as you can do. And not only out of this formation here, but when you look at some of these concepts, you'll probably find that even if this particular formation isn't in your playbook, you can run these concepts, the same concepts, as long as you got the pass routes to do it with. So keep that in mind.